Hiya, how you doing? So it's been a while since I've been able to record anything, just been back to back doing stuff. Bit of a poor excuse, I suppose, really, but it's true. I'm sure you can relate to that. Oh, I just wanted to show you this space where I'm walking right now. So, I used to walk over it quite a bit actually, used to come running over here as well. This is going to become a housing estate at some stage, about 300 houses or so. I think personally it's a beautiful nature reserve. But I know as one small wee person, I don't really have a chance to do anything about it, except maybe make a bit of fuss, although it's not fuss. But it's a shame. Anyway, so everything that's growing here will soon be turned into houses, more houses. A new estate's just been built over the road. But anyway, I suppose that's one of the things that's been going on for me this week as well, since the last time I spoke to you, is, procrastination. Who would have thought that procrastination can be debilitating? Have you ever experienced that? Because I'm definitely experiencing that. And I think it's a kind of form of burnout, that no matter how much stuff you try to cram into your day or your week, that sooner or later you are going to crash and burn if your mind or body, or mind and body, just can't actually deal with that. And I think no matter how much on the physical plane, on the earthly plane, if you like, being here on this earth, no matter how much we think we can achieve things, we can do stuff. Yeah, I can get this done in my day. I can go to work. I can go to the shops. I can spend 10 hours in the office. I can do all the admin that I need to do. I can do this course. I can do that. No matter how much sometimes we think we can do stuff, I think we also have to recognise that there are times when we actually can't. And one way or another, our minds or our bodies are going to tell us that. For me right now, procrastination is really quite bad. So I've come out for a walk because I feel I just wanted to change what was happening for me in the environment I was in. And I've been trying to do some computer-based work, do some study, and I really can't get into it. I really can't focus, and it's not for want of trying. And it's really debilitating not being able to control your own mind, to control your own body. The only thing I can do is literally get out and walk. And it's like my legs were just telling me what to do. So this is what I'm doing now. And I thought at the same time I'd have a chat with you. I think it's really important that we recognise these things happening to us. Because I've felt really peeved off that I've not achieved what I wanted to today. And I know it's going to put me behind. I'm going to go back later and try and catch up with all the things I wanted to do today. But hey, I've had a really end-to-end week of doing, not end-to-end week, like back-to-back week of doing stuff. And maybe what my body is doing, and there's a part of my brain that's doing that too, is saying to me, just don't do anything, just be. There's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful permaculture educator, there was, called Graham Bell, and I shall never forget him saying that we're always human doings. We think we're gonna, we need to do things, but we are actually beings, and we forget to do the being bit, and it's really important. I'm really rubbish at it, but I'm rubbish at it because I process things really slowly. I'm dyslexic, and having a sensory processing sensitivity, which is a medical term for HSP. Putting these two things together means that I can't do things as quick as I'd like to. I can't function as well as I actually want to. And I can see where I want to go, and I've got my goals ahead of me, and I am doing those things, but not as much as I hoped I would be able to. And that makes me feel marginalised. That makes me feel like somebody who can't achieve what I see other people achieving. Again, maybe there's something else going on for me. Maybe that's imposter syndrome. I get a lot of imposter syndrome. And the reason I'm highlighting these different things with you is because there are lots of these kind of things going on for us, for different people, that can make us feel like we're not good enough, that can make us feel like we are alone, that we cannot achieve what we want to. And I think what we have to do, we have to look at it as if we're pushing up through the ground, like a sapling coming up through the ground, breaks up through the soil, through the earth. I read recently in a book by, I can't remember his name, Mel Mandrake, I think. Sorry, I'm again rubbish at remembering things, but it's called The Enchanted. No, see, I've literally got brain fog here while I'm talking to you, and that's because what I'm feeling, I'm feeling this procrastination, this thing in my body even now, and it's been a few minutes that quite a few minutes that I've been walking around here. I've done this video once before and I've had stopped it. But this is a really good example of something that I find debilitating in my life, that I can't show a tangible thing for it. I can't present something to you to say, hey, look, this is my broken leg, this is my broken body. It's debilitating to not be able to do the things you want to, and to know that's there. And no matter, I have days that are really good. I can have really good days, and I motor on with that, and I have to really do that. So when I'm having a really good day, I have to catch and store that energy. I have to do what I feel I can do in that day, because I get days like this, and no matter what I do, they come. I can't stop them, and it's just the way I'm made. And I think in accepting how we are made, I think to keep going, to keep trying, I think is really important. To learn to find new tools and techniques that can help us, push through and cope, I suppose, with what might be happening for us, I think is really important. But I think it's really important to accept who we are, to show self-compassion. But I just wanted to share with you that sometimes for some people, things can be so debilitating, they have to work extra especially hard at getting to where they want to get to. And I know that I'm going to share this video with you, and I'm going to hate it. I'm going to think it's really rubbish. That's the imposter syndrome coming out. I'm going to think I'm not worthy. Again, more imposter stuff coming, low self-esteem. And I even hate the fact I'm talking about myself, because it feels arrogant, it feels selfish. But I feel I need to tell you about what's happening for me in order for me to be able to help you understand how to work through a situation that involves your mind and body connection. And yeah, I'm really feeling it in my chest now as I'm speaking to you. So I'm just going to sit with that for a moment. So, I think in understanding there are these things happening for us is a first step to be able to take care of ourselves, to understand how to take better care of our mental health if we have to perform. So if you're a teacher, if you're a manager, boss, whatever role you might actually be in, you may experience these kind of things in your roles, and you may have certain tools and techniques that you actually use. And what do? Do you give in? Do you stop being a teacher? I don't mean stop being a teacher as in a career, I mean, on that day, do you just walk out the classroom? If you're in the middle of a meeting, if you're a boss, offices, wherever that might be, I don't know, do you leave the meeting and not come back? What do you do? I bet what you do is you stick with it and you keep going. And that's what I'd like to invite you to do. So although I think I'm not really happy with what I've done today, because this is something I want to do and I want to achieve, and I want to show you how by reframing our thinking about accepting our vulnerability, about how to identify that it's okay to be vulnerable, to have this sense of it's kind of like a fear. So this procrastination for me right now, it's like my body's in fear mode, and I don't understand why really. But I think it's just because it's had enough and it wants a break. But it's bloody hard work trying to push through. And I think recognising that is important. And maybe really what I should be doing is not even doing this, and just going for a walk, just looking at the trees, going by the river, going by the lake. And also I think what helps is consistency. So doing something every day where you can to help keep up that practice of resilience is important. And maybe, here we go, so I'm starting to identify things here now, patterns of behaviour. Maybe where I've been consistent in speaking to you, I've just got so busy that I've lost that pattern of consistency. So that now what's happened for me is that procrastination is worse. Whereas if I'd kept up the technique, if I'd have kept up the practice, it probably would have been less so. So maybe there you go. Maybe that's the lesson in this chat that I'm having with you, is daily practice is really important. If we're going to learn to take care of ourselves first before we can support each other's, daily self-care practice is important. Even if it's 5 minutes, even if it's 10 minutes, find a way to push through that. And then 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Earlier on, I set myself a 10-minute timer to allow myself to have negative thoughts, to allow myself to feel down, have low self-esteem. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. But I actually got fed up with that. I thought, no, I don't want to give my energy to that. I want to think positively. But maybe that was counterproductive, and I should have actually used that tool and allowed myself to do it. So I think it's recognising when and where is best to use certain techniques, and pick the right one for the right situation. And don't feel bad if you can't achieve something or can't do it. So I know right now that what my body needs to do is to keep moving, so that I have this thing where I have to move. I'm a very active kind of person. And I think that's very much the same within my mind. So I have to always be doing something. And the minute I'm in a situation where I'm not doing anything, it's kind of like being stagnant. And I know there is a process of having to do that because we need to be able to regenerate. But sometimes it doesn't work for me, and I can just feel that building up in my body. So I try to take that into account when I'm trying to look at ways to regenerate, if you like. And so I guess the best way to do that is to regenerate and keep moving is to go for a walk, which is what I'm doing now. And then so that kills two birds with one stone, if you like. And I've noticed this week that when I've been speaking to people, like I'm talking to you now, my breathing has got quite short. I've had to try and catch my breath, and I get a sense that I'm not practicing a lot of my breathing techniques properly, and I know that's the anxiety actually coming up. So here we go. I've identified something with you today that I really do have to, if I find a tool and technique that works for me, I have to make sure I stick to it. No matter how busy I get, no matter how much I have to do the life stuff, that self-care is absolutely crucial. Absolutely crucial. It's like taking medication. If you're prescribed a medication, you're prescribed that medication for a reason. If you have to take one tablet every day, if you have to take 2 tablets every day for a certain period of time, you've been given that for a reason. It's been identified. Whether you take orthodox medication or whether you take more natural medication, you're prescribed that in a certain way for a certain reason. And the minute we don't do that, our bodies respond to that, our minds respond to that. Same as getting up in the morning. Getting up and having a routine is really important. And I don't know about you, but I find if I change that routine, I get overwhelmed and I get anxious, and I feel that makes me then feel worse. So again, it's really hard and it's a constant struggle, and I find this is a struggle I have every day. So I have to work at it every day, and if that's the way it is, then that's the way it is. But in that, I try to incorporate playfulness, I try to incorporate laughter as a way to help me cope with that. And I've learned to do that more recently than I have ever before. So again, these are some of the tools and techniques that I use to support my mental health, to support my well-being, so that I can help support other people, because my main aim is to do that. I enjoy what I do, I love it, so I know I need to do these things in order to get there. And I want to have good health, I want to have good physical and mental health. So I think I've spoken enough now. You're probably bored of me, and I apologise about that. I hope I've left you with something that will make you think about your own self-care and the things that you do, and what perhaps you used to do that you don't do anymore that you knew actually worked for you. Or maybe there's new things you've learnt about, maybe there's new people that you've discovered that have inspired you, and you're learning some techniques from them. And I encourage you to keep building on your mental health toolkit. I encourage you to keep working on your own mental health. I encourage you to keep working on your physical health, because mentally and physically, all of that is actually connected. So I'm going to leave you now. I think I've jabbered on enough here. And I will make a point of changing my patterns and identifying why I keep breaking them and what it is I need to change that cycle. So I'll catch you later, and take care for now. Bye.